Time stood still for me as I played, working out strategies designed to tie my opponent into a knot. I was a master of time, space, and motion in my own intensely private universe.
Frank Gay, coming out of Skit right now.
Right now, Timothée Chalamet is everywhere. He's painting the Statue of Liberty orange and flying blimps across the country to promote Marty Supreme. It's a marketing masterclass, but behind the hardcore orange aesthetic is a man Hollywood is almost too scared to portray accurately.
Lawrence, who's a West Indian gentleman from Barbados, introduced me to the audience and said, "Ladies and gentlemen, a new star looms on the horizon. Let's welcome Marty Reisman."
What was wonderful about Marty Reisman, apart from his having the most wonderful game, was that he was a hustler. He brought to table tennis a way of being.
A man who was banned from his own sport for a bribe and became an international gold smuggler just to survive. Marty Reisman was the needle. In the 1940s, ping pong wasn't a hobby. It was a blood sport at Lawrence's Broadway club. Imagine a young kid walking into a smoky basement, pulling out a sandpaper paddle and taking $500 off a mobster. Marty lived for the ego. He once won a match using a chess piece instead of a paddle.
I was sort of like gunfighter in the Old West. People would come in from out of town to challenge me, and matches would be played for hundreds of dollars,
Wait a minute. Nothing personal, I hope.
If I hadn't played for money, I wouldn't have been the world-class player that I am. Because in a fun game, you can do all sorts of wild things out there, and you think, hey, I'm playing successful table tennis. But when money is on the line, you better think twice about what you're going to do out there if you want to succeed, if you want to walk away with the money. According to my birth certificate, I am Baby Reisman, born in 1930 in Aquarius on the Lower East Side in New York City. Dr. Kupperman charged my dad $30 for my delivery, but was never paid in full. The stock market had collapsed 4 months previously, and times got tough. Eventually named Marty, I grew up in a slum during the Great Depression. Craps and poker had a stranglehold on my dad, so it was feast or famine depending on the roll of the dice in a backyard, basement, or rooftop, as my dad bucked heads with Lady Luck.
Feel that on. That's steel, man. See, in order to play table tennis, I really should show this to you. Basically, you do this a few thousand times, you're going to build up musculature. Yeah, feel that. I mean, it's not, not too bad for an 80-year-old, My strokes are perfect. I mean, my strokes have not deteriorated, basically. No, it's the mechanics, it's still mechanically perfect. The only thing is I got to transport it somewhere. May get there a little late, But in terms of the mechanics, just as good as it ever was.
He was a millionaire at 20, fueled by gambling and pure unadulterated ignorance. But in 1949, the luck ran out. At the World Championships, Marty tried to do what any hustler would. He tried to bet on himself. But Marty made a fatal mistake. He handed a $500 wad of cash to the wrong man, equivalent to about $10,000 in today's money. He thought he was talking to a bookie. He was actually talking to the president of the English Table Tennis Association. To the officials, it was a bribe. To Marty, it was just Tuesday. That mistake got him banned for life. He went from the world's greatest player to a ghost in a single afternoon.
It was a smoke-filled establishment with ventilation that forced you to suck for wind in order to stay alive. There were 12 tables, and table 7 was where the big action always took place, behind which were the several machine gun bullet holes reputedly made when Mr. Diamond was shot at, and his magic legs danced him out of harm's way.
What do you do when you're the best in the world and you're not allowed to play? You turn to crime. Marty spent years smuggling gold through Asia. He wore a 30-pound vest lined with gold bars, using his fame as a Harlem Globetrotter opening act as a cover. He was dodging customs in Hong Kong and Tokyo while the FBI watched from the shadows. He didn't need the sport anymore. He was making a fortune in the underworld. When Marty finally came back, the game had changed. Everyone was using foam paddles. Marty called it cheating. He stayed a hard bat rebel until his death in 2012. Even at 80 years old, he was still beating champions, proving that a man with a sandpaper paddle and a dream is more dangerous than any technology.
I play money games mostly, and I've done that most of my life against some of the top players in the United States, $5,000 and $10,000 games. But I play them with the pimpled rubber racket. Sponge players, are very difficult to play against because the racket offers a tremendous advantage to the user, producing a lot of spin, propulsion, fraud, and deception. Very difficult to play against. So I will challenge players, regardless of their age. Some players are young enough to be my great-grandson, and I play them for money.
You might call him Supreme, but in New York, he was simply a legend. So now, you ask yourself, are you watching a character? Are you watching the ghost of the greatest hustler to ever live? This is the story of Marty Supreme.